Hi, this is Luminousz. Welcome to the channel. Today's video, don't wait for the narcissist to wake up. Please like and share today's video. And of course, wherever you are, I wish you the very best. Don't forget to scroll down and check out the description box below for further details to today's video. First point, the narcissist and or the cluster personality is counting on your compliance to the dysfunctional relationship. You're hoping, wishing, and desiring for him or her to finally wake up and change for the better is less likely to occur for many reasons of which you have no control. A lot of us make the mistake of thinking that the cluster personality and or the narcissist is going to change eventually if we love him or her enough, if we are around him or her and we're rescuing them enough and we're bailing them out. We think sometimes that they're going to change for the better. And this is understandable. This is even natural, especially if this is a loved one, like a parent or a spouse, or maybe even a child. The bottom line is this: a lot of cluster B personalities and narcissists, due to the fact that their personality disorder is fixed, it is highly unlikely they're going to change. So as long as one wishes, as long as they hope, and as long as they desire for him or her to finally wake up and change, it's probably not going to happen. Simply because the narcissist and the cluster personality, most of the time, they're not interested in changing for the better. They simply don't think they need to. So as long as a person complies to the dysfunctional relationship, more than likely the narcissist and a cluster personality will see no incentive or reason to change. Remaining focused on your own life is one of the best things that you can do for yourself as well as your loved ones. Waiting on the narcissist and or cluster personality to wake up and change for the better is another way to comply to dysfunction. Waiting, complying, and hoping keeps you in the sunken place. You know, just like I said in the previous slide, as long as a person is complying to the narcissist and cluster personality, he or she will see no incentive to change, simply because their false self-image is not being challenged. As long as the false self-image of the narcissist is not being challenged or threatened, he or she will see no reason to change whatsoever. And it doesn't even matter how diabolical their tactics for source supply become, they still will see no need to change because their false self-image is being well supplied. As long as a person is waiting, complying, and hoping, yeah, they're going to be in the sunken place. And all the while they're in the sunken place, the narcissist and the cluster personality will continue to be well supplied and fed. Point. Narcissists are rarely sincere about making peace with others to clear the air regarding any broken relationships, misunderstandings, and fallouts. By choosing to take the high road, becoming the bigger person, and remaining agreeable does not move the narcissist to behaving with integrity. Rather, it is often used against others as long as there is compliance. So one of the hooks is compliance. When a person continues to comply with the dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist and cluster personality, nothing will change. And more than likely a person will become depressed. They will deal with anxiety. And all the while, the narcissist and cluster personality, they're getting the best of both worlds. They have a lot of source suppliers, and their false self-image is not being threatened or challenged to change for the better. All the cluster B personality needs is other people's compliance. That's it. They don't need their love. They don't need their respect. They don't need their loyalty. Well, maybe that last part. Maybe they do need a little bit of loyalty. But the bottom line is, the compliance is the real hook. The compliance is the glue that keeps the whole mess clumped together. So when a person chooses to take the high road, when they choose to become the bigger person, and when they remain agreeable, they make a big mistake thinking that the narcissist or cluster B personality will be moved somehow by that to become a person with integrity. No. Rather, often, they use this against people. As long as that person or those individuals who are source suppliers will comply. That's all the narcissist needs, is people to comply. So when the narcissist leaves broken relationships behind, and when there's misunderstandings, and even when there's fallouts, the narcissist will rarely sincerely make peace with other people, because in order to do that, they have to take full responsibility for their part in the fallout, in the misunderstanding, and the broken relationships. Narcissists and cluster personalities, they don't do that. They will dip, dodge, and they will avoid at all costs making peace with others to clear the air regarding any broken relationships, any misunderstandings, and all fallouts, because that means that they have to take full responsibility for their part in it. And that is a direct threat to their false self-image. That is a challenge to their false self-image that their psychics cannot stand. So psychologically, they can't even come to peace, okay, with anyone. So the narcissist and cluster personality, yeah, it is a waste of time to think that he or she will ever clear the air with anyone or make peace with anyone for that matter. So when a person chooses to become the bigger person and they are agreeable and they're behaving with integrity and they're complying, see, the narcissist looks at all of that and laughs and says, yep, got him, or yep, I have her right where I want her. That way, the narcissist will continue to tap into the energy fields of others in order to feed their false self-image. So again, the key is compliance. Once a person walks away from the sick game that has been rigged for her or him to lose, then the narcissist loses, because that person is no longer complying. They have interrupted a dysfunctional behavior pattern. They have interrupted a dysfunctional relationship. They have broken the cycle. The narcissist and cluster personality, they can't stand that. They cannot continue to tap into the energy field of anyone who decides that they're going to walk away from a sick game that's rigged against him or her. The narcissist loses in that. So again, compliance is what's going to keep everything dysfunctional and together. Okay, so the narcissist and cluster personality, they like it when we take the high road. They like it when we're the bigger person. They like it when we're agreeable. Yet we comply to the dysfunctional relationship. In other words, we're still there. As long as that dysfunctional pattern does not get interrupted and there's compliance, the narcissist cares not how we feel or what words we may use to express what he or she has done, their latest schemes, their latest shenanigan. They can care less because they're still getting supplied. Their false self-image is not threatened by the words, the colorful words or the passionate words that we may use to express their latest shenanigan. Okay, I hope that's clear, because I know just a few years ago I got clear on this one. There was a particular person that I had in my life that's a cluster B personality. And when, I'm telling you right now, when I stopped playing their sick games, that's when things turned around for me. I'm not going to say I was out of the woods yet, but things began to turn around. I began to feel better. I began to see how I can trust myself more. And I can also see why it was not feasible or practical or even logical for me to continue to have a relationship with the cluster B personality. Okay, so I just share these things with you today in hopes that they uplift you and give you the motivation and inspiration to thrive. Now, let's look at the tools. Tool number 1, focus on your own priorities, healing, support-based, and life. As long as you redirect your focus from the narcissist to yourself, then it's a game changer. And more than likely, you'll find it to be. Because again, once a person decides that they're going to walk away, they're not going to play the sick game that was rigged against them to lose by the narcissist, again, it's a game changer. The narcissist and cluster personality, the only thing they need is your compliance. The only thing they need is my compliance. But as long as you're not willing to play that sick game, then compliance comes off the table. The narcissist and the cluster personality, they will either seek someone else to gain source supply from, or he or she will attempt to hoover you back in. I've done a few videos about how there's something called the 1-2 punch. That's what I call it, the 1-2 punch. And that is when the narcissist hovers and then they hoover you back in. The hovering is when they use flying monkeys, when they use other people who are enablers to try to suck you back in, because the narcissist is no longer physically in the relationship with you. And they know that if they come directly to you, you're not going to comply. So what do? They use flying monkeys and enablers to have them brought up in a conversation. That way, it will seem like they're still in your life, even though they're not physically in your life. That's the hovering part. That's the first punch. The second punch happens when you have absolutely given in and you are complying again, and you are in a dysfunctional relationship with him or her again. Therefore, you have been hoovered back in. That's the second punch, when you are actually in contact with him or her again. And it can be a long distance relationship. Don't think for 1 minute that just because you're not physically around him or her, there's not a dysfunctional relationship, because there is, as long as you're still complying, even though there's mileage between you two, or between all of you. What does that look like? That means you still call. You may live thousands of miles away, but you still call. Every now and then throughout the year, maybe you will show up for the family reunion. Maybe every now and then you will join them for the holidays, but you already know it's going to be drama. Every now and then you join that person. It doesn't have to be a family member, but you join that person for a social function or some other reason. The bottom line is, it's a long distance relationship. Nonetheless, it's still a relationship. It's a dysfunctional relationship. Therefore, there's still compliance. Every once in a while, when you don't see them, they're getting supply from someone else. They're not going to go without. Oh no, they're not going to be denied. So as long as there's any type of relationship, whether it is distant or not, it is still dysfunctional. Therefore, there's still compliance. Second tool, remember that your life has purpose. Third tool, practice self-preservation, personal boundaries, assertion, and emotional discipline. This is the greatest and the best narcissist repellent I know. Okay, and I practice this even still today. Self-preservation, personal boundaries, assertion, and emotional discipline. Can't beat it. The narcissist can't either. Okay, the narcissist and the cluster personality, they can't penetrate anybody's energetic field who practices self-preservation, personal boundaries, assertion, and emotional discipline. When you're practicing self-preservation, you're not investing in the narcissist more so than yourself. Personal boundaries. You're simply living your own life as you see fit. You're not always inviting the narcissist to a place that you like to go. You're not always calling him her, if at all. That's where the personal boundaries come in. When the narcissist and cluster B personality says or does something, whereas you feel violated, you speak up. So personal boundaries go hand in hand with assertion, with tact, with diplomacy, with grace, with class, with respect. You state that you don't like something, but you do it coming from a place of compassion and love. That doesn't mean that you don't have tough love sometimes. No, it simply means the personal boundaries and assertion comes in when you can speak your truth. When you can tell the narcissist and or cluster personality that you simply will not go for the dysfunction. You're not going with the BS anymore. That's where the personal boundaries and assertion comes in, as well as self-preservation and emotional discipline, because you're not being reactionary. Emotional discipline means that you critically think and you're also aware of what emotions you're feeling at the moment. That's emotional discipline. It's a balancing act. It's not that you don't get pissed off. It's not that you don't express your anger. By all means, please do that. Not that you need my permission. I just thought that I would just break down what emotional discipline looks like, because some people may be, a little bit confused about what that is. But I think most people get it. Okay? That means that you're critically thinking and you balance what you feel at the same time. And you respect and honor yourself. Okay? If you feel angry, for instance, the narcissist or the cluster personality may say something or do something that may influence anger or cause you to become angry. What does emotional discipline look like? When you're able to critically think about what's going on. What is the narcissist doing that upsets you so? What are you going to do about it? That's critical thinking. What are you going to do? What's the solution? You're your best problem solver. What do you feel? Angry, maybe agitated, maybe annoyed, maybe a little sad, maybe disappointed, maybe heartbroken. Can you express that without being reactionary? See, that's emotional discipline. Nobody's perfect. There are times that I slip. Okay, it's like, yeah, that pissed me off. So that's just an example of emotional discipline. When you're able to critically think instead of letting the pendulum swing all the way over to the emotional side, you're also able to critically think about what's going on. What is the narcissist doing? What is the cluster B personality doing? What are they saying that presses your buttons and has you feeling uncomfortable? Are you able to articulate it or state it without becoming reactionary? In other words, you're ready to just go off the deep end. And the narcissist, trust me when I say this, they're going to love it because they get the supply from that. You ever notice how the narcissist and the cluster B personality, they like to goad people into an argument? Well, that's why. Because they are emotionally immature. So they have to have people around them that they can get to become reactionary. They have to be able to know that they can press your buttons in order to obtain a strong sense of control in the relationship. The cluster B personality and the narcissist, they have to know that they are the center of your pleasure and your pain. They have to know that. If they don't know that, they will test you out. And when they test you out, if they fail the test, then that's a game over for them and it's a game changer for you because they're not going to stick around you. And that's a good thing. Why would you want anybody around you that's going to keep pressing your buttons? So practice self-preservation, personal boundaries, assertion, and emotional discipline. I want to thank everybody for joining me today or tonight. I'm Luminousz, and of course, stay tuned for more vlogs and stay tuned for more videos.
Our home, incubator of life, through our lines.